My name is Maddie, and I need to do another book haul. I know that I literally feel like I did my other book haul, like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. That's probably how long ago I did it. But as you can see, I've acquired quite a few new books, so, that's what we're gonna do today. I forgot to grab my notebook where I wrote down all the books that I acquired. Got it. I think we're almost ready. Disclaimer. I'm sorry if you can hear music. Someone decided to play music at the exact same time that I decided to film, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna care because, yeah, And also the lighting is crap. Because it was like nice and sunny earlier, and now the clouds are rolling in. We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. It's fine. It's fine, right? It's fine. Okay. Let's get into this. Oh mon dieu. Okay, I'm gonna count so that like we have a total of how many books that I bought, because I have a feeling it's going to be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. I bought 21 books since I last did my book haul. I still don't remember when that was, but it was probably something like 3 weeks ago, and I swear I bought like 10 of those books. I bought like 10 of those books in the past 3 days. Because if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, at WOODSoftheBOOKS, the link is always in the bio, description, whatever. Description, that's what it's called. I was in London this weekend, and I went to all of the amazing bookstores. I went to Hatchard's, I went to like the biggest Waterstones I've ever seen in my life. I went to Gosh Comics, Gaze the Word, Foyds. So like I went to a whole bunch of different bookstores, and obviously I couldn't not leave those bookstores without buying something, because who would I be if I didn't? So here we go. Let's book haul. First book that I bought. Also, I don't think I've read any of these, which is like kind of a problem. Oh, I've read some of them. Okay. The first book that I bought, I just talked about in my October wrap-up, so go watch that if you want to hear more thoughts. But it's Fence by C.S. Passat and Johanna the Mad. Like I said, I've already read it, so go watch my October wrap-up if you want to know my thoughts and what it's about. In case you can't tell, it's about fencing. Yeah, if I've already read the book, you're not gonna like get to hear more thoughts about it, sorry, or anything like that. It's like I've already read it, I've already talked about it. Okay, next. Next book I bought, Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. I also talked about this in my October wrap-up, so go watch that if you haven't. It's about these two characters, Deja and Josiah, who work at a pumpkin patch. And they have fun adventures, and the art style is adorable. Okay, next. Woo, we're gonna get these done so fast if I keep doing this. Next. Okay, here's where we get into the books that I haven't read. First book is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. Oh look, the lighting's changing again. Great. I don't know much about this book. I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to read it this month for a book club that I'm doing with a couple of other people on Instagram. I know that it's about horses, and the reason we were starting this book in November is because it has to do with the month of November. Yeah. I'm assuming there's a horse race, because Scorpio races and there's a horse. That's all I know. That's all I want to know. I am excited to pick this up because this is one of the few Maggie Stiefvater books that I haven't read. Along with Now Call Down the Hawks that's come out, and All the Crooked Saints. But I own both of them, so I will get to them eventually. Next. I really am whipping through this. Usually book hauls take me a lot longer than this. Next is China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. And here's where the theme starts, because I got this book, I meant to read it last month, but obviously that did not happen. I am going Sunday, this month, hopefully, probably. I'm going to be reading this as part of a book club with one of my friends who lives in Colorado, and I live in England, so obviously we're kind of far away, but we try to read a book together every month. Obviously that didn't happen last month, but I tried. And then we FaceTime, we talk about it, and it's great. And we read Crazy Rich Asians back in September, so now we're going to read China Rich Girlfriend. And then November's book is The Handmaid's Tale. So hopefully I'll get to read both of those books this month, this book and The Handmaid's Tale, so that we can talk about both of them, but like, we'll see. This book is a continuation of Crazy Rich Asians, so I haven't read the description. Well, I've read Crazy Rich Asians, but I don't really know what it's about. I know that it's about Rachel and she's getting married. That's like all. And it's probably going to be a continuation of the politics and all that stuff that gets talked about in Crazy Rich Asians. Again, I read it in September, so if you want to know more thoughts about Crazy Rich Asians, go watch that wrap up. I love all the self-promo we're doing right now. It's great. I'm giving you, like, nothing to go on for these books. I'm sorry, but also not sorry, because that's just how I do, I guess. The next book that I bought was Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I've been wanting to read this book for a while. I've read her Darker Shade of Magic series, and I read the This Out Song, Our Dark Duet duology, and I read the Archive, the Unbound duology. So I've been trying to get through most of her books. And, like, I think this, Vicious and Vengeful, and then I have The Near Witch, and those are the other ones that I really want to get to. And, like, I didn't know much about this book. I just knew that it was about two friends. I think their names are Victor and Eli. Maybe I know more about this book than I thought I did. I hear people talk about it all the time, so. It's about two friends, Victor and Eli, and they do, like, they're in college together and they do research and they figure out that going through near-death experiences gives you superpowers, I think. And then also it takes place in the future when they're no longer friends and they're trying to kill each other and we don't know why. And I was already really, really excited about this book, excited to read this book. And then I found out it had blackout poetry in it. And I love blackout poetry. I was just introduced to blackout poetry this year, but it combines two of my favorite things, art and poetry, and just, like, I love how people, like, get creative with their art, and it just makes me happy. And I can scroll for hours on Instagram, like, looking at people talking about it. It just, and, like, making blackout poetry, it's so pretty. So I can't wait, because you can see, like, the stuff's crossed out. This is how blackout poetry works. You, like, cross things out to, like, create a poem. Obviously, you haven't really here, but you have these two. But, like, yeah. And so I hope that, like, they get to talk about blackout poetry in here, because I love blackout poetry, and yeah. And I feel like it's not a common occurrence to find another character who likes blackout poetry. Like, poetry in itself is not super common, and then blackout poetry is just, like, not common at all. So I'm really excited to get to read this book and learn more about that. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I'm sorry if I start talking really fast. I'm just excited about these books. What is next? Okay, the next book is... Oh no, I'm not going to get it out yet. The next book was The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I haven't read anything by Erin Morgenstern. I know this is only her second book, but I haven't read anything by Erin Morgenstern. But I have been really intrigued by The Night Circus for a long time, and I didn't know much about this book because I thought for a long time it was a continuation of The Night Circus, and I was like, I'm not going to read any synopsi, whatever you call those, multiple synopses. I don't know. I didn't read the synopsis of this book because I was worried about spoilers for The Night Circus. And then I found out it wasn't a continuation, it was just another Erin Morgenstern book. And I still didn't read the synopsis because, like, we know me. But then I did read the synopsis because I was, like, taking pictures of this book and I was curious. Because this book is beautiful. Like, you can see it in, like, the sunlight. Like, it's all shiny, and then, like, even, like, this part of the book, and, like, even just the back is, like, oh, so pretty. And then there's, like, prettiness on the pages, which I love. Makes me so happy. And then even the end pages are really pretty, and, like, this one isn't as pretty as, like, I don't know if you guys have seen the Waterstones exclusive edition, which is gorgeous, but I also love this edition. And this edition I bought so that I can go see Erin Morgenstern talk, which is why I need to read The Night Circus and this book, like, now, so that I can go see her talk and not feel like a fake fan. Because I wouldn't really be a fan because I'd never read any of her books. Anyway, this book is about a guy named Zachariah, and there's a key, a bee, and a sword. and there's something about him having to like solve those or something like that. That's, yeah. And there's like a book and a library and a labyrinth, and I love books that are set in libraries. I loved Sorcery of Thorns when I got to read it. That was one aspect I loved about like Throne of Glass and stuff, so I'm super excited to get to read this book and read all of the library content. And just like, it looks really cool, and I'm really excited to read it. Yeah. Next. Oh, yes, okay. This one was kind of an impulse buy. This next book is The Binding by Bridget Collins. So, most of these other books, well, not all of them, most of the other books that I buy, I have heard of before. I almost never nowadays buy a book without ever having heard anything about it. Because then I'll be like, oh, I'll just get it from the library, see if I like it, you know, all that stuff. And I usually gravitate towards the ones that I've heard of since I haven't bought all of them before. But I was wandering around Waterstones, as I do, and I saw this book on one of the, like, new fiction tables or something like that. And I was like, this cover is beautiful, and it has really pretty sprayed edges, and the spine is gorgeous, and it's signed. And oh yeah, that, okay, we don't care about that. And it has really pretty end pages. And here, I'll show you that it's signed. You see up there, right here, it's signed, you see? And then I read the description, and it's like, basically, it's this world where when people don't want a memory of theirs anymore, they can get it written down into a book and like bound and like put into this library, and they won't remember it anymore. But it's still there. So it's not like every single memory that they don't want to remember is gone. It's like, it's still there, but not really. And the main character becomes an apprentice to one of the people who does this bookbinding, and he has to like put all the books away, and one day when he's putting the books away, he sees one of the books with his name on it, which means that it was his memory. And he's like, what? I'm so confused. What is happening? Well, that's like the last line of the description. It's like, I don't actually know how it works. But, I mean, first of all, books, because we all know how much I love books, and libraries and stuff. And it just sounds like such an interesting concept. And it's an adult fantasy, which is something I've been trying to get into more, because we all know that I'm not good at reading adult fantasy. Well, I'm getting better. I wasn't very good like a year ago. I'm getting so much better now. So I'm really, really excited to read this book. And yeah, it's crazy that I think this is one of like, I think 2 or 3 books. 3. I want to say 3. One of 3 books that I had never heard of and picked up. This never happens. I always know something about the book before I pick it up, even if it's just someone online saying I liked it. I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued now. I had never heard of this book, but I was like, I'm gonna read it anyway. Well, I will someday. We'll see. Okay, now we're getting into all the books that I bought when I was in London. And it's a lot. I think it's at least 10. It's insane, and I shouldn't have bought this much. But, like, YOLO? Anyway, let's just get into it. The first book that I bought was, oh, there's a bookmark. See, look, I went to Hatchard's and I got this fancy bookmark for the book that I bought at Hatchard's. But the book that I bought at Hatchard's is, like, really short, so the bookmark doesn't fit in it, so it looks really awkward. But I like to keep the bookmarks that I, like, get with books with the books, so it just, like, yeah, okay, I'll show you. But the book that I got was 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene Hanff. Helene? This looks French, I don't know. I'm sorry. And this book was actually recommended to me by one of my great aunts because she knew I was coming here, and she lived here when she was young, and she knew that I really like to read and like I liked this stuff. So she was like, I have a book to recommend to you, I think you should go pick it up. And I saw it at Hatchard's and I was like, it's cheap and I'm in London, so I actually went and took a photo of this book with the Charing Cross Road sign. You can't really see the sign, which was kind of disappointing, but like it's fine. It's still cool. And this book is about a writer. It's nonfiction, I believe. Yeah, it's nonfiction, so like, here we go, me branching out again. And it's about the main character, Helene, and she really likes to find rare editions of books, but she can't find them where she's living, so she writes to Marks & Co. booksellers at 84 Charing Cross Road, and it's like, hey, can you guys help me find these rare books that I want to own? And she basically, like, she's writing to, this is set in the 1950s, so, like, obviously they're not emailing each other, texting or calling, they're writing letters to each other, and so it's her and then the main bookseller, Frank Dole, and they are in correspondence with each other, and they're, like, becoming friends and stuff. And it sounds adorable. It sounds right up my alley, because, like, books and all that stuff, and it's not super long. And even though it's a memoir, and those aren't usually my things, I think that this is going to be really interesting to me, and it might, like, open my eyes up to more memoirs that I can read, which would be really cool. So, yeah. Here, I'll show you what the bookmark looks like in the book, because it's ridiculous. Look at this. Like, it doesn't even stick up, like, a little bit. It's, like, a heck of a lot. And if I, like, try to press it down, like, I've tried, and then just, like, now it just looks even more dumb. So I just keep it like this, and I hide it, so that, like, well, it's not really hidden, it's just sort of, like, you can't really see it. You can't really see it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, next. I got that at Hatchard's, and then I also went to Gosh Comics, and I wasn't gonna buy anything, because, like, I love comic books, but, like, they're expensive. Like, comics and graphic novels and stuff. But I actually had bid, this is kind of a funny story. I was going to a birthday party with some of my friends, and we couldn't get in at, like, we were going to a trampoline park, and we couldn't get in at the time that we had, like, booked it for. So I, the brilliant reader, was like, there's a Barnes & Noble just around the corner, why don't we go hang out there until we can, like, actually go to the place. So we all, like, wandered on the YA section and then picked up books and just started reading them. We just sat there and started reading them. But I picked up this book, and I had read most of it, but then we had to go, and I didn't finish it, and I didn't buy it. And I hadn't, like, I literally haven't stopped thinking about it since. That was, like, 2 years ago, and I still haven't stopped thinking about this book. Because it was a really cool, I'd never read, this was also nonfiction, I think, mostly. It's a memoir. But I had never read a graphic memoir before, and I was like, this is beautiful. So I have to show you guys. If I can get the book out. Okay, wait, there we go. It's Spinning by Tilly Walden. And so this is the story of Tilly Walden growing up as an ice skater and, like, having to deal with all these sorts of, like, body issues, and it was so good, and it kept, like, I still can't stop thinking about this book. So I saw it in Gosh Comics, and I've never actually finished it. I don't actually know how it ends. I got close to the end, but I never actually finished it. So I need to, like, reread this, and it's, like, it's pretty big, so, like, it will take me a couple of hours. And I am so excited to get to reread this book, because I remember it being really good, the parts that I read, and I can't wait to read it again. Okay, I feel like I talked forever about that book, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh my gosh, no, my books are all such a mess. Okay. When is my life not a mess, though? Like, honestly. Just... okay, next. Okay, then I went to the Giant Waterstones, and I got a bunch of books at the Giant Waterstones, because how could I not? It's a Giant Waterstones. I got The Wicked King by Holly Black, because I own The Cruel Prince. I got it, like, 2 years ago or something like that, and it was, like, my mom got it for me when she was in Paris, so it was the European edition instead of the US edition, and so it was shorter than the editions in the US. So I was like, I don't want to get the US editions and have them look weird with my UK edition. And I'd never read it anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And then on the train ride there, I started The Cruel Prince, so I'll talk about it at the end of this video, because I'll talk about what I'm currently reading. So when I got there, I was like, well, everyone says that, like, there's a cliffhanger at the end of The Cruel Prince, they needed The Wicked King, like, right after The Cruel Prince. So I was like, we're gonna pick up a copy, because hopefully I can read them before The Queen of Nothing comes out, and then I can read The Queen of Nothing, because that'd be really cool. Although I think it comes out, like, next week, and, like, I don't know if that's gonna happen, because I have a whole bunch of other things I need to be reading right now. Yeah, basically, my reading life is a struggle. But I am really excited to get to read this book, so, and I have no idea what it's about. I'm not going to read the back, none of that, because spoilers for The Cruel Prince, obviously. I'll talk about The Cruel Prince at the end of the video though, so like, you'll get to see that. Then I got Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. And I know that this is the like movie tie-in edition, and I kind of wanted to get the nicer cover, like, you know, the original one. Oh wow, the lighting changed again. Great. I'm sure you guys are really enjoying that. But because it's being adapted to Netflix, because Netflix has adapted it and like it's coming out really soon, I wanted to read the short story collection before the Netflix adaptation. And it's Christmassy, and it's almost, ow, that really hurt. Oh, it's fine. It's almost Christmas. Ow. You know when you hit your funny bone? Oh.
It's almost, ow.
Okay, get over it. It's fine, okay. Because it's almost Christmas, I really want to read this book. And I know, I think I've only ever heard one person talk about this, and that was Zoe, read by Zoe, when she did her Christmas readathon. And she didn't, like, love it. She said it wasn't great, or she said it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. I just would really like to read it before the adaptation comes out. And it has an actor that I, have liked in the past and other things, so like I'm excited to see him again because I feel like he's not in a lot of things. He's like kind of new. Yeah, okay, that's what I have to say about this book. I think it goes here. Yes, it does. Okay. And then also at Waterstones, I got Solitaire by Alice Oseman, because once again, in case you guys haven't seen my October wrap up, I read Heartstopper Volume 1 and 2 in October multiple times, and I died multiple times. I've already reread Heartstopper Volume 2 this month because it makes me die multiple times. And I didn't realize this for a while, but Alice Oseman, I don't remember the chicken and the eggs, I don't know which one came first, but the main character in this book is the main character in these books, Tori, is Charlie's older sister, Tori. So, like, we get to see these characters in this book, which, like, Heartstopper Volume 3 cannot come soon enough, but also, like, I need me some Nick and Charlie, like, in the meantime. So, I can't wait to read this book, because, like, I think it'll be good, and I'm excited to, like, read, a physical book, like a traditional book by Alice Oseman instead of a graphic novel. I'm excited to see her prose. And I also I want to see them again. Yeah. Okay. I think that was all I got at Waterstones, because that was the day that I was, like, kind of trying to restrict myself. And then I did not restrict myself at all. So then after that, that was, like, all in one day. So those past couple books I talked about, that was all in one day. And then the next day, I was pretty good. I, like, didn't buy that much. And then I went to Gaze the Word, because I was like, this is a quintessential London experience, being a reader and going to a gay bookstore. And it was beautiful in there. I loved all of the, like, different sections where they talked about, like, so, like, for example, there was an entire section on gay erotica, which is, like, not my thing. Like, I'm never gonna buy it. But I really appreciated that it was there, because I feel like I've never seen, I mean, I don't look for erotica in bookstores, but I've never seen gay erotica in, like, a bookstore, just a normal one. So it's really cool to see all of these underrepresented areas. I found a couple of books there that I had never heard of before, but I immediately was like, I need to buy this for one reason or another, which I will talk about when I talk about the books. But it was really inspiring and so cool, and I honestly had to restrict myself a lot to choose which books I was going to get from that bookstore, but it's fun. So, this isn't in any particular order, it's just sort of like randomized, so I'll just grab them as I see them. The first book that I want to talk about, am I going to be able to get it out? Oh wait, I'll go like this. There we go. The first book I want to talk about is Color Outside the Lines, which is edited by Sangu Mandana? I'm sure that's not how you say it. I'm almost positive that's not how you say it, and I'm really sorry about that. And then it's also by like a bunch of different authors that I enjoy, including Adam Silvera and Samira Ahmed, which like I love them, so I can't wait to read this book. And like other authors that I've heard of that I've heard are really amazing. This book, well, this anthology, it's all about relationships, and it's about relationships between races and LGBTQ relationships, and it's basically just talking about how relationships can differ in different situations. And I basically bought this because Adam Silvera and Samira Ahmed, but Adam Silvera, and I am really excited to get to see the different representation that is in this book, because I realized recently that I haven't read a lot of books with a lot of representation. I know I said that I've been trying, and I feel like it's gotten better, but I feel like a lot of the times when a book is popular, it doesn't have a lot of representation in it. And not only am I talking about race representation, I'm talking about LGBT representation, because it's like, if I look at this right here, I think this book has a bi main character, but she's only ever been with a guy, so that's not, like, I have no idea what her sexual orientation is, honestly. She might be ace, you never know. Gay, bi, gay. And, like, I feel like a lot of the things that I read are male-male relationships. Once in a while there's a female-female relationship, and that's great. I've got a little bit of bi representation, which is also great, but that is something I'm trying to improve upon, because like I genuinely want to read more books about people with other experiences besides mine, because I think that's really, really important. So yeah, that's why I got this book. That's why I can't wait to read it. This book I'm actually excited about. I'd never heard of it before I went into Gaze the Word, but I was like, this book sounds amazing. So, come on, come out. This book is None of the Above by I.W. Gregorio. And this book is about a girl who is intersex, right? Yes. That's all I need to know. I immediately picked it up because I was like, I've literally never read a book about a main character. I had a whole thing, and it all got cut off because my camera only records for 30 minutes. Great, this is gonna be really long. What I was saying is that I had never read a book that was about an intersex or a non-binary, or even had like a trans main character. And while I've read books with those representations like as secondary characters, I've never read one with a main character like that. So I was like really, really excited about it. And just like I was talking about with Color Outside the Line, I think it's really important that I try and read stuff that's outside of my own life experience, because it gives me an insight into other people's shoes. I tried to combine giving insight into other people's life and that saying about walking a mile in someone's shoes, but it just didn't go well. That's just how this day has gone, I guess. It really gives me an insight into how other people's life experiences differ from mine, and I do think that that's a really important thing for everyone to get to read about. So I'm really excited to get to read this. Hopefully soon. I can't wait to do a post on Instagram about it, because I think that it's really important that more people hear about books like this, because the representation is just really, really important for everyone to know about. That was my rant. Thanks for coming. It used to be longer, but my stupid camera. Okay, next I'm going to talk about More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. More Happy Than Not is, I don't actually know what it's about. It's about a gay guy, because Adam Silvera won't write anything but gay people. Because duh, why wouldn't you? I picked it up because I have read They Both Die at the End. I read it back in July, and I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to read another Adam Silvera book. And History Is All You Left Me sounded really sad and depressing, which, like, I'm pretty sure all of Adam's books are sad and depressing beyond, like, unless he's writing it in collaboration with someone else. Frick. Okay, let's try to get this done fast. Oh no. I'm not gonna be able to finish, am I? let's see, my lecture's at 3. It's 2:40, I have 20 minutes, I can do it. Okay. But yeah, I can't wait to read this book. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited about it. And I hope that it's not as sad as they both die at the end, although I have a feeling it's going to be because Adam Silvera, obviously. What's next? Now I'm stressed and rushing. You're welcome. Ooh! Okay. The next book that I picked up was Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. And I have been wanting to read other Alice Oseman books, obviously, like I said, since I read Heartstopper, and that's why I picked up Solitaire. But I also want to read Radio Silence because it has an ace main character. And as you guys have seen, as I've talked about this, is that I want to read more books with ace main characters. And I don't have it with me, but I read, what's it called? Every Heart Adoria by Chanel McGuire, which had an ace main character. And then I also have here, Let's Talk About Love. I have Radio Silence, I have one more that I'm going to talk about later. But this was really important to me because, like I said, underrepresented, sexual orientations. For me, it's underrepresented sexual orientation specifically. I want to read books with underrepresented races as well, but sexual orientations was more important to me because I feel like it's like a general human experience that everyone should learn about, if that makes sense. And I'm really, really excited to get to read this book because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, what is this book about? This book is about a radio show and people going to college. That's all I really know. And Alice Oseman is British, so it might be set in England. I hope so. I love England, obviously. Yeah, I'll let you know when I read it, which is hopefully going to be this month, but like, we'll see. That's probably not where it went. Oh well. The next book that I got was Odd One Out by Nick Stone. And I have never read anything by Nick Stone before. I know that she blew up with Dear Martin, and she's had Jackpot come out recently, so like I should read some of her books because obviously they're more widely known. And I followed her on Instagram for a while, and she is amazing on Instagram, and I love her on Instagram. But I didn't realize that this book was LGBTQ. Like, I didn't know that it had... I think one of the characters is... one of the characters is bisexual. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Or maybe more than... as far as I know, one of the characters is bisexual. It might be different, because obviously I haven't read it, so like, I don't know. But yeah. And I have wanted to read something by Nick Stone for a while, so obviously, what else could I do but pick up a Nick Stone book? Especially if it has LGBT representation, LGBTQ+, whatever you want to call the acronym. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be good. I think we're kind of sort of almost there. Yeah, we are. There's only 4 more books. Okay, the next book that I bought is not a surprise. Well, it's a surprise, but also not a surprise. It's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, it's not a surprise because, like, obviously I am on book 2. I need to own this book. But it is a surprise because I've never read this book before. And I wasn't going to. For a long time, I had this thing against hype. Whenever I would see the world hype a book, I'd be like, no, I'm never going to read this book. And, like, even now, when a book gets super hyped, I will be a little bit hesitant because I'm like, I don't want to be that one voice who's like, I don't like this book. But I also, like, I like to be unique. So, like, picking this book up 2 years after everyone else has read it feels a little bit cliche and stuff. But once again, bisexual representation, which is what I wanted. And I do think it's going to be really interesting because I've heard that Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing style is really intriguing, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to read. So I'm excited. If you don't know what this book about, I don't know where you've been, that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, it's about a Hollywood actress who, who had 7 husbands, and she's never told her life story to anyone, and then she tells it to a reporter who writes a book about her, which is supposedly this book. It's great. I mean, sounds great. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. Yeah. Next. The next book I bought was Of Ice and Shadows by Audrey Coulthurst, which is the sequel to Of Fire and Stars, which looks like this, so I'll put a picture right here so you can see it. I don't know, okay, this book is obviously a continuation of Fire and Stars. I don't really know what happens in it. I know that That's a spoiler. Yeah, I don't know what happens in it beyond the spoilery things. It has a female-female romance in it. It's gay. That's all I cared about. Okay. I need to wrap this up because I need to go to lecture soon. It's fine. I won't rush or anything. Okay. That's it. Okay. The next book that I bought is The Invisible Orientation: An Introduction to Asexuality by Julie Sandra Decker. Like I said, I've been trying to read more about asexuality, and this book seemed like it would actually be really helpful because although I don't think the author is ace, oh, she is, okay. The author is ace and aro, asexual and aromantic, so it's own voices, but it's like a, it's not fiction, it's like a guide to asexuality, and talks about, like, how other people, like, it explains asexuality in a way that doesn't make other people think that aces are sick, basically, which is really important. So, bought this book, I'm gonna read it, I'll let you know my thoughts. Is this where that went? I don't remember. Who's it? Oh yeah, it goes here, okay. Okay. That was the last book that I bought at Gaze the Word. I know that was a lot. And then I was like, no more books. You're not going to buy any more books. And then I was at Floyd's, whatever it's called. It starts with an F. Folds? Something like that. And I saw this book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. And that is Saw Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. I have already read Furyborn and Kingsbane, and I'm really excited for Furyborn 3, which like doesn't have a title, probably coming out next year, but like we don't really know when it's going to be. But this is another book by Claire Legrand, and once again, asexual main character. I got a theme. I'm doing my best. And beyond that, I really don't know what it's about. I know it's from multiple perspectives, and I think it has something to do with, it's like a mystery, I think. And there's moths. Inferences. I love inferences. We love inferences. Yeah, all I needed to know was that there was a character that was ace. I was like, I'm sold. Okay. I gotta wrap this up because I gotta go. I am currently reading, like I said, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I am really enjoying it so far. I think it's funny because, like, there's two characters, like the main, well, not the main character, there's two characters and like they hate each other, but you can totally tell that it's just hate disguising love, if you know what I mean. And it's hilarious to like see them, and one of them's like, ew, I saw her and I hated her, and I was like, you thought. So like, I really like that aspect, like I love reading that aspect. Other than that, it's like a really interesting new look into how, like, it's like a twist on fairy, obviously. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, because, like, once again, this book has been everywhere. It's doing, like, that's why I've done the hype thing, you know, that's why I haven't read it up until now. I don't know what else to say about this book yet. I am really enjoying it. I'm on page 136, so, like, slowly but surely I'm reading it. And yeah, I really need to go. I'm sorry that was kind of rushed. I did my best, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below if either any of these books is one that I should pick up immediately, or just let me know like a new book that you bought recently so that I can add to my growing list of books I need to buy, because obviously that is important. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!